What's good, ProTech? Appreciate you hopping on, man. Doing good, man. Just wanted to try the IG thing for the first time while I also stream to Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. So let's get it, man. This is the week 3 waiver wire show. I'm gonna give you guys some gems that's gonna help you guys win your leagues this week and even further. So we're gonna kick it off with quarterbacks. Obviously, we know that so many different quarterbacks have gotten hurt this past week, from Tua Tagovailoa to Derek Carr, Baker Mayfield, man, you name it. You name it, man. Appreciate you, ProTech. So tons and tons of quarterbacks are hurt. Ryan Fitzpatrick, we understand, he's not coming back. You know what I'm saying? Anytime soon. So Taylor Heineke, for those of you guys that listened to the show last week, you guys were able to go ahead and pick up Taylor Heineke and stash him and even use him. I started him and he gave me 32 points in my Superflex league. So definitely helped me win my league. And Andy Dalton also has a knee injury. So leading up to the first guy that I want to encourage you guys to go ahead and grab, and that is Justin Fields. Justin Fields, we all knew that eventually he was going to be starting. Eventually he was going to be the guy. So we finally got some people chiming in into the Twitter verse and YouTube verse. So my boy Hawk, man, welcome to the show, man. Appreciate you for hopping on. So we're talking Justin Fields, man. He came in last week, had a touchdown, did not have a really awesome week or awesome game. But guess what? Justin Fields gives you that rushing upside. You know what I'm saying? So if you're playing in a league where, you know what I'm saying, running backs matter or rush attempts matter, then guess what? Justin Fields is going to be a guy that you might want to go ahead and grab. I have Teddy Bridgewater on my list. Teddy Bridgewater has played phenomenal already with the Denver Broncos, and I was not really expecting this kind of upside from Teddy Bridgewater. Like, we know who Teddy Bridgewater is. He's pretty much basic. You know what I'm saying? He's solid. My guy, Timeout Sports, is in the building, man. Appreciate you hopping on the stream, man. We're going to kick off this week 3 waiver wire show, man. Got some good stuff for you guys. So we're talking Teddy Bridgewater. He's going to be serviceable. He's going to be a guy that you want to plug in a Superflex league. Obviously, if you're playing in a 1-quarterback league and it's a 12-man league or a 10-man league, then you do not want to have Teddy Bridgewater starting for you because he's not going to give you that kind of upside to where he's making, so much plays. My boy Hawk says, I'm tuned in, Manny. Last week I benched Carr in favor of Macaroni Jones. Yeah, and I told you not to do that. Did I? Did I not? I think I told you not to do that, but you didn't listen. So you started Mac Jones, and Mac Jones didn't give you what you thought he was going to give you. And I also remember you saying that you was going to cut Derek Carr, and I'm glad that you didn't. Look, I'm big on Derek Carr this year. I said it back in July. I said that Derek Carr is going to produce this season, and we're already seeing the production. ProTech Sports on the YouTube, man. He went from the Instagram to the YouTube. Appreciate you hopping on. Hawk says, facts. He definitely said not to do that. Yeah, you know what? It's all good. It's all good. Yeah, like I was saying, Teddy Bridgewater, man, he's going to be serviceable. Like if, let's say there's no quarterbacks out there. For some odd reason, you're playing in a 10 or 12-man league and everybody has 2 quarterbacks, then you might want to start Teddy Bridgewater. But one thing I loved about Teddy Bridgewater was he was able to make Courtland Sutton an item again. Like, Courtland Sutton produced in a huge magnitude last week. Like, I almost didn't even know who Courtland Sutton was. Throughout the show, I'm going to go through the entire week, and we're going to kind of rank the top 12 quarterbacks and the top 12 wide receivers and tight ends and things of that nature, so we can kind of see, was there anybody who snuck up into that top 12 that we need to pay attention to? Now, talk about Teddy Bridgewater. Daniel Jones. Look, I know I got some Washington fans watching the show. Look, Daniel Jones is a pretty good quarterback right now. I'm going to let you guys know where Daniel Jones ranks in a minute. He's a guy that you want to pick up. There's a league that I have the number 1 waiver, and quarterbacks matter. So guess what? I'm using my number 1 waiver on Daniel Jones. It's a super flex league. And Daniel Jones, as long as Saquon Barkley is giving you next to nothing, Daniel Jones is going to produce numbers, okay? Now, Hawk asked the question. Let me go ahead and put this up on the screen. ProTech. ProTech says, yo, bro, start Mac Jones or Trevor Lawrence? That's a good one. I'm going to go Trevor Lawrence. The reason I go Trevor Lawrence is he has the bigger upside. Regardless of who he's playing, both guys are on teams that are going to be losing. You know what I'm saying? Jacksonville and New England are both not good teams this year, but guess what? I love the weapons that Trevor Lawrence has to work with. I love Trevor Lawrence's arm talent. Even last week when he had 3 interceptions, he was still able to score 3 touchdowns. He just gives you more touchdown upside than Mac Jones, regardless of the matchup. So I go Trevor Lawrence over Mac Jones any day of the week and twice on Sundays. So Sutton was balling. Yes, Sutton had an amazing day. Look, Sutton won me a couple of leagues, and it was one league that I didn't start him, and luckily I was able to get that win. It says DJ is cool for fantasy. Absolutely. Fantasy-wise, DJ is amazing. Daniel Jones is amazing. So he's definitely a guy that I'm keeping an eye on. Next guy on my list is Derek Carr. If Derek Carr is out there in your league, you need to hurry up and go grab Derek Carr. I was telling people about Derek Carr way back in July, and Derek Carr right now leads the entire NFL in total passing yards. His upside, his touchdown upside is going to go up. Think about it. Henry Ruggs had a deep touchdown last week, right? You now have Bryan Edwards who's coming into his own. Obviously, you have Hunter Renfrow, and then you have Darren Waller. He has the weapons. And then now, with no Josh Jacobs, we don't know how long Josh Jacobs is going to be out. So with no Josh Jacobs, you know that there's upside in Carr being the main guy that's scoring touchdowns. So they're going to need 2 to 3 touchdowns out of Carr every single week to stay relevant. And as long as Carr continues to get you 300 yards, 2 to 3 touchdowns, that's going to be QB1 numbers, meaning top 12. So he's going to be a QB1 this year, and he's already doing that. I think he's QB9 or 10 right now currently. So, yes, I love Derek Carr a lot so far. Talked about Daniel Jones, talked about Teddy Bridgewater, talked about Justin Fields. Let me go deeper into my list of quarterbacks and kind of see if there's anybody that I'm forgetting and see if there's anybody that, I might want to pick up. Now, if you're playing in a super deep, super flex league, you want to look at Davis Mills. Obviously, Tyrod Taylor is out. We don't know how long Tyrod Taylor is going to be out, but you want to go ahead and pick up Davis Mills because, first of all, he's available in a lot of super flex leagues. Okay, so you want to go ahead and grab him because he's going to help you win. Quarterbacks score the most points, right? So you want to have as many quarterbacks as possible. Even though he's playing for the Texans, it doesn't matter. There's still upside. There's still upside for Davis Mills when it comes to Superflex and even Dynasty. So I was able to grab Davis Mills in a lot of my Dynasty leagues, and I was able to stash him in my taxi. So he's there and he's available for me. Also, Jacoby Brissette. You want to go ahead and put in a claim for Jacoby Brissette if you're playing in 2 quarterback leagues because we know that Tua Tagovailoa is out, and we don't know how long he's going to be out. So they're saying that he might play, but it doesn't hurt to go ahead and pick up a Jacoby Brissette just in case. I'm telling you guys, it's going to be beneficial for you. Also, have a few more quarterbacks to go through, and we'll hit that next position. So, Kirk Cousins, if he's available, you want to grab him, but I doubt Kirk Cousins is available in leagues right now. Kirk Cousins has been tearing it up. Kirk Cousins has been one of the best quarterbacks in fantasy this season. Like, Kirk Cousins does not get the respect that he deserves. And Kirk Cousins is actually going to segue to a receiver that I think that everybody should have on their roster. There'll be no reason why this particular wide receiver that I'm going to talk about is going to be available after this weekend. So when I say this name, you guys want to write it down. You guys want to go ahead and put in your claim right now so you guys can wake up and have this wide receiver on your fantasy teams when you wake up in the morning. So Kirk Cousins, he's become a must start. He's tearing it up. He has 3 really good wide receivers that are now producing. Even without a tight end, they're producing. Dalvin Cook is coming to his own now. Although Dalvin Cook, he gets hurt, and we don't know. He got hurt 2 times Sunday, so we don't know about Dalvin Cook. But I want to segue to wide receivers, and I want to talk about KJ Osborne. I talked about him last week. I told you guys, go ahead and scoop a KJ Osborne. Some of you listened, some of you didn't, but it's okay. So as I talk, I'm going to share this out to the other social media platforms that I'm on right now. So KJ Osborne had a great game Sunday. He produced, and there's a potential. I'm going to say this right now. This might be a bold prediction, but there's a potential that the Minnesota Vikings are going to have 3 wide receivers that produce 800 or more yards. Do you guys agree with that statement? Let me know in the comment section. And if you're listening to the audio version of this, let me know. Tweet and tag me. Let me know, will the Minnesota Vikings have 3 wide receivers with at least 800 yards apiece? Let me know. So, but before I get back to KJ Osborne, I did forget a quarterback, and I'm going to go back to quarterbacks real quick. So James, appreciate you hopping on the stream. If you're new, please subscribe, please like, and please share. James is asking, Buffalo, Carolina, Baltimore, which defense to start week 3? All awesome choices. Obviously, I'm not going to pick Buffalo because look at the hat that I'm wearing. But honestly, Buffalo has a good to great defense. But I don't know if I had to choose out of these 3, I'll probably go Carolina. But it's so easy to go Baltimore. So it's between Carolina and Baltimore. If I had to rank these 3, I would say Baltimore, Carolina, Buffalo. Carolina is the only defense that has given you double-digit points 2 weeks in a row. So Carolina is hot right now. So, but I will put my money on Baltimore versus Jared Goff. I think Baltimore has a big day come Sunday. So I'll go Baltimore over Carolina and Buffalo. Timeout says they should. The defense isn't good. Will be a lot of passing. It will be a lot of passing. But if you look at what Buffalo was able to do last week, Buffalo had 22 fantasy points. So, but they were able to get after the quarterback. I think that Taylor Heineke is going to be running. I think Taylor Heineke is going to do some pretty good things for us come Sunday. I like the Washington football's chance. I like the Washington football chance versus the Buffalo Bills. It could be a low-scoring game. It could be a lot of passing. But we'll see what happens. We will definitely see what happens. But Buffalo's defense, they weren't great week 1. They were super great week 2. So take that with a grain of salt. It can go either way when it comes to that defense. Timeout Sports also says, I was referring to the Vikings. Oh, man, my bad. Okay, makes sense. Absolutely. Makes a lot of sense. So there was a quarterback that I missed. I missed Sam Darnold when I was talking about quarterbacks. Sam Darnold is looking good right now, and he's making guys like DJ Moore look good. So, Sam Darnold might be a guy that you might want to go ahead and put in a claim for. He could possibly be a QB1 this week versus the Houston Texans. So we all know the Houston Texans are a terrible team. They just lost their starting quarterback. So they're going to a rookie. They can be a potential blowout or where, the Panthers come out to a big lead. And look for Sam Darnold to hit guys like Christian McCaffrey and DJ Moore. He has like a wide complement of wide receivers. He has the rookie. Can't think of his name right now, but Sam Darnold versus Houston will be a good play this week. So you want to go ahead and scoop a Sam Darnold if you can. Keep an eye out for Taylor Heineke. He has that rapport with Terry McLaurin. So you might want to exploit that. You know what I'm saying? If he's available and if you're playing in a Superflex league, definitely Taylor Heineke has a QB2 upside this week versus Buffalo. I know Buffalo played well last week, but at the end of the day, he's going to be able to elude some of that pass rush. So if Taylor Heineke is available in a Superflex league, you want to go ahead and grab him. In a 1 quarterback league, you're taking a chance playing him against Buffalo. But if you're looking for a second quarterback, QB2 numbers, then definitely Taylor Heineke. Talked about Bridgewater, talked about Daniel Jones, talked about Derek Carr, Sam Darnold, and Taylor Heineke. Those are my guys. We move on to running backs. I know I said wide receivers, but let's go ahead and get to running backs. We know that Josh Jacobs is still dealing with that toe injury. We don't know how long he's going to be out. We know that Darrell Henderson is dealing with the ribs injury, and Elijah Moore, who we all rushed to the waiver wire last week, and we was grabbing this guy left and right. But guess what? He has a shoulder injury. Trey Sermon has a concussion. Jermichael Hasty has an ankle injury. So literally, the 49ers have no healthy running backs right now. and everybody is rushing to the waiver wire to figure out who do we pick up? Who do we pick up? So I got some news for you guys. Also, Rashad Penny has a calf injury, and I never trusted Rashad Penny. So you want to go ahead and you want to see who's out there. James White is available in 77% of leagues. James White is rostered in 77% of leagues, but he's not 100% rostered. He's not even up to 90% rostered. So that means James White is still available in some leagues. Go and search to see if you can find him, because James White has become a weapon for Mac Jones. He's a guy that Mac Jones can check down to. It seems like Mac Jones is not trusting that tight end group as much as he should. So James White is a guy that you want to go out there and you want to target. What's up, Meeks, man? Appreciate you hopping on the stream, man. Please like, please share. Let's see. So you want to go ahead and you want to put in a claim for Michael Carter right now. I'm telling you guys, put in a claim for Michael Carter before it's too late. When it's too late, it's literally too late. Michael Carter had 10 fantasy points last week in PPR format. I know that 10 points is not a lot, but guess what? It's double figures. Guess what? Michael Carter is the best running back on that Jets backfield. So if you have space to roster a guy like Michael Carter, you want to go ahead and do that now before it's too late. I'm telling you guys. Other guys that I'm looking at, Sony Michelle with that Henderson injury. Sony Michelle could be the starter this week, so we don't know. Even if Sony Michelle doesn't do much, guess what? He'll have the goal line carries if they have any of those. So if he can punch in a touchdown for you, you're looking at double-digit points. And I'm telling you guys, the running back is one of the hardest things to find because everybody always hoards running backs, right? Tony Pollard. Tony Pollard has been hot this week, and he's been hotter than fish grease, okay? Tony Pollard, he's electric, man. He's doing things that you need Ezekiel Elliott to do, but Ezekiel Elliott is not doing it. So I'm telling you guys, go ahead and put in a claim for Tony Pollard, whether it's redraft. He should not be available in Dynasty, but if he is, go ahead and put in a claim for Pollard. What up? What up? Cornelius is in the building, man. Appreciate you hopping on the stream, man. Please like, please share, please subscribe if you haven't. He's asking, my running backs are Kamara and Gibson. Kamara and Gibson, that's a great combo. I know a lot of people are down on Antonio Gibson right now, but don't be surprised if Antonio Gibson has a great game Sunday versus the Buffalo Bills. Something has to give. Either that defense plays well or Antonio Gibson plays well. We know what Taylor Heineke and Terry McLaurin can do. It's all about, will Antonio Gibson get going in terms of scoring the ball? You know what I'm saying? He's been great. Antonio Gibson has been great in real life, but in fantasy, he hasn't been great because last year he had 11 touchdowns, but this year you're searching for that first touchdown out of Antonio Gibson, and you have not seen it yet. It's coming. Trust me, it's coming soon. So do not give up on Antonio Gibson. If you can go ahead and trade for Antonio Gibson, you want to go ahead and do that ASAP. As far as Alvin Kamara, you're going to be fine. He's going to have good days, bad days, because Jameis Winston is still learning how to play with him. So Kamara is one of those elite guys. And like you said, Gibson is still learning that position. That's why he's not able to get those tough 3rd and 1s or 4th and 1s. I think he'll get better at doing different things as the season progresses in his first full year as a running back. Well, in his second full year as a starter and learning that new position. Now, we want to talk about let me scroll down. I know a lot of us picked up. I told you guys to pick up Larry Roundtree last week. He's still a good stash because Austin Eckler is just an injury away. Ramondre Stevenson, we all had high hopes for him. And, he just kind of fell off. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? The Texans running backs, without their quarterback, they're going to struggle. The number one waiver wire ad this week should be J.D. McKissick. J.D. McKissick is back. He's playing with a quarterback that suits his skill set. With Fitzpatrick, I was worried because I haven't really seen a connection between Fitzpatrick and a running back. You know what I'm saying? I got to go back and think, who did Fitzpatrick play with that was a running back that was able to receive passes or having like a nice connection? It's J.D. McKissick. J.D. McKissick, former wide receiver. Did you guys see that route that he put on that linebacker? I mean, J.D. McKissick is going to play a lot of slot wide receiver come Sunday versus the Buffalo Bills. As long as Curtis Samuel is out, expect big weeks from J.D. McKissick in the passing game. He's back. He now has a quarterback that can move around in the pocket, create plays with his feet. And if he gets rolling, he can find J.D. McKissick on a wheel route or, split out wide. J.D. McKissick is the number one waiver wire ad for me this week, especially as a running back. You want to go ahead and put that claim in for J.D. McKissick right now. I'm telling you, it's going to pay dividends for you. I told you guys last week to pick up a Cordero Patterson. I don't know if you guys listened, but now it's too late because everybody knows who Cordero Patterson is. And granted, Cordero Patterson gives us these weeks where he looks great, and then he fizzles out. Cordero Patterson, he has that wide receiver and running back designation. So you can end up playing him as a wide receiver, and he gives you running back type numbers. He's become a weapon for Matt Ryan, although I do not trust that Atlanta Falcons offense or Matt Ryan. But take a chance on Cordero Patterson. Running backs are hard to come by, so I will definitely take that chance. Cornelius says, perfect throw, great way to deceive the linebacker, great catch. Yes, he's referring to J.D. McKissick. That was definitely a great play last Thursday night. As we move on, Zach Moss, he had 2 touchdowns last week. You know what I'm saying? That entire Buffalo backfield scares me. But guess what? Like I said, running backs are hard to find. And if you can get you a Zach Moss, you might not even have to put in a waiver claim. You might wake up in the morning and he's still a free agent. So you might want to save that waiver claim, but Zach Moss is definitely somebody to look at. Devin Singletary did have a touchdown. Zach Moss had 2 touchdowns. So it seems like Buffalo is trying to establish the run as much as possible. We're seeing less of Josh Allen in the goal line situation, and you're seeing more of the running backs. Does that translate this week versus the Washington football team? I think the Washington football team did a pretty good job versus the run, versus the Giants, and versus the Chargers week 1. You might just want to pick him up and stash him and see what he does as the season progresses. But as of right now, you can possibly get away with that. Alexander Madison. He's a guy that we are always looking at. We're always looking towards Alexander Madison every single year because Dalvin Cook has a tendency to get hurt. Dalvin Cook cannot really stay healthy. And Dalvin Cook got hurt 2 times, not once, but twice on Sunday. And both times I was nervous. Being a Dalvin Cook owner, I was nervous. You guys might want to go ahead and handcuff Dalvin Cook with Alexander Madison. I'm telling you guys, pick him up right now and stash him. If you have the number 1 waiver wire pick, go ahead and pick up Alexander Madison and stash him because I'm telling you guys, Dalvin Cook can get hurt on the drop of a dime. The guy gets hurt so easily. So Alexander Madison, I would probably use my waiver wire pickup on him or J.D. McKissick. So whichever one that's out there, those might be the 2 hottest running backs to go ahead and scoop. The Eagles are in a full running back by committee. And you want to go ahead and pick up a guy like Kenneth Gagwell. Kenneth Gagwell is the clear-cut number 2. He's smallish, but guess what? He produces plays. I think he scored week 1, and then again he scores in week 2. He's going to be a PPR type guy. We all know that Kenneth Gagwell he played in Memphis, and he has some receiving upside. So Kenneth Gagwell is the guy that you want to go ahead and scoop. And then if something was to happen to Miles Sanders, then you're looking at a running back with major upside. Yes, he's on the small side, but I'll take my chances. Pick up Kenneth Gagwell if you can. Darrell Williams. We don't know what's happening with Clyde Edwards-Helaire right now. Like I don't know. He's struggling. And he fumbled. So who knows if he loses carries to Darrell Williams come Sunday. And also Darrell Williams did have a touchdown. So keep that in mind. With Clyde Edwards-Helaire fumbling and losing the ball, that creates an avenue for Darrell Williams to go ahead and come in and command some carries, especially in the goal line. You want to go, typically coaches go with people that they trust, right? So you want to go with the guy that you trust. All right, so moving on. Let's talk about some wide receivers. Let's look at who's hurt, who's really injured, who's hurt right now. So Amari Cooper had some has an injury with his ribs. Deontay Johnson, that knee at the end of the day, I don't know what Deontay Johnson was doing on a meaningless play. Got hurt, grabbed his knee. I literally thought that he was going to be out for a while. So you guys want to monitor that injury. Deontay Johnson is very fragile. He's made out of peanut brittle. So you want to keep an eye out on that. Jarvis Landry has a knee injury, and he's on IR, so he's going to miss at least 3 weeks. Odell Beckham Jr., knee injury. Do the Browns really have any wide receiver that's healthy? Donovan Peoples-Jones might be a guy that you want to go ahead and grab because he seems to be literally like the only healthy wide receiver for the Browns. Of course, Higgins is there, but Paris Campbell, ab injury, Nico Collins shoulder, he's on IR. He's out for 3 weeks at least. Darrell Williams concussion. So tons and tons of injuries. So when you look around, try to see if guys like Marvin Jones is available. I doubt Marvin Jones is available. Marvin Jones has been pretty good this year. Meest says the JD catch in the final minutes of the game. Yes. Goes back to that JD Mckissick catch. It was amazing. It was magnificent, man. That was a game clincher for the football team. Marquise Hollywood Brown has been hot. He should be available in some leagues. Put in your claim. I was wrong about Hollywood Brown. I wasn't really a fan. I thought he was smallish. I thought that he was not going to be able to withstand the hits in the NFL. He's been able to do pretty well. So, yeah, I'm proud of Marquise Brown. Michael Pittman went off. He went all the way off. He had 20 points in fantasy PPR format. Only thing that concerns me about Michael Pittman is Carson Wentz might not play. Carson Wentz has 2, ankle sprains. I mean, what was he doing? Was he walking around in heels? I mean, how do you sprain both of your ankles? It's crazy to me. So Pittman playing the Tennessee Titans this week, I love that matchup. I just don't love the quarterback situation. So if you can grab you a Michael Pittman, you do it. You do it, most definitely. If he's out there. I mean, I dropped him after week 1, and I saw that he was playing the Rams and Jalen Ramsey, but obviously he didn't match up a lot with Jalen Ramsey. They moved him all around, and he was able to produce like a number 1 wide receiver. He was targeted 12 times. He had 8 catches for 123 yards. So Michael Pittman is magnificent. Definitely want to go ahead and grab him and stash him. You might not even have to start him this week. So I'm going to try to get him back in waivers. I doubt I get him, but I'm going to try. I'm telling you guys. I told you guys last week about Sterling Shepard. Sterling Shepard is the number 1 wide receiver for the New York Giants. And I was able to draft Sterling Shepard literally everywhere. I traded him in some leagues to kind of get some of the guys that I wanted, but Sterling Shepard has been awesome this year. So I would definitely go and try to get a Sterling Shepard. For the season, he has 16 catches off 19 targets, 207 yards and a touchdown. The touchdown numbers are going to go up. And when it does, you're talking about Sterling Shepard being a top 12 wide receiver come week 3. If he's able to get a little bit more touchdowns, let's say he gets about 6 or 7 touchdowns this season and going at this pace, he has a chance to be a top 15 wide receiver this year. I know they have Kenny Golladay. I know they have Kadarius Toney. I know they have Slayton, but the best sure-handed wide receiver for Daniel Jones and the New York football team, the New York football Giants, is Sterling Shepard. So, yeah, I like what Shepard is doing this year. Go ahead and scoop him if you can. If you're joining the stream, please like, please share. Appreciate the love. Rondell Moore played magnificent. I didn't think that Rondell Moore was going to burst into the scenes as early as week 2. This guy did nothing but great things for his team, including that 77-yard touchdown. Rondell Moore reminds me a lot of Steve Smith. He's strong. You see him running the ball. You see him catching the ball. This season, he has 13 targets for 11 receptions, 182 yards, and a touchdown. Kyler Murray is a guy that can go for 300 to 400 yards every single week. So what does that mean? We always thinking A.J. Green, right? Not just A.J. Green. We were thinking, Hopkins and this guy and that guy. Rondell Moore might just be the most electric wide receiver they have. I understand DeAndre Hopkins is special. But I'm telling you guys, Rondell Moore can do a little bit of everything. There is no route on the route tree that Rondell Moore cannot run. So, you might as well go get Rondell Moore right now because I'm telling you, after this week, he's not going to be available. So you want to scoop him against a hot matchup versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. That's easy money. Go grab him now. Tim Patrick, I talked about him last week. You should grab him this week. He has 2 touchdowns on this season. He's starting to create some kind of connection with Teddy Bridgewater. He's a bigger wide receiver. Cortland Sutton is a bigger wide receiver. So it seems like Teddy Bridgewater is really enjoying playing with bigger wide receivers. Don't sleep on KJ Hamler, but that's more so for a deeper league. But yeah, Tim Patrick is a pretty good pickup. And with the change in Justin Fields starting this week versus the Cleveland Browns, you want to grab a Darnell Mooney. Darnell Mooney had great rapport with Justin Fields. He was able to have, I believe he had like 6 catches for 66 yards. That's 12 points in PPR format. So you definitely want to go ahead and grab a Darnell Mooney off the wire because Allen Robinson has not looked good. But guess what? There's a new quarterback in place. So there's a potential that there can be a connection between Justin Fields and his wide receivers, meaning Mooney and Robinson this week. So go ahead and grab Mooney, stash him. You can watch him for a week because Cleveland is a tough matchup. I'm not going to lie to you. But at the same time, you kind of want to see what Mooney can do moving forward with a mobile quarterback that can kind of create some time inside the pocket to hit his wide receivers for some open plays. So, yes, I like Mooney a lot this week. Let me see. Since I was in the section 414, I'll send it to you. Oh, appreciate you, man. Send that to me, man. I would love to put that on my show. Aiden, what's good, man? Appreciate you hopping on the stream. Please subscribe, please like, and please share. Aiden is asking, did I win this trade? Sterling Shepard, Amari Cooper, and Jonnu Smith for Kittle and Jefferson. Let's go ahead and break this thing down. I was just talking about, I don't know if you was on the stream when I was talking about Sterling Shepard. I think that Sterling Shepard is going to be a great wide receiver this season, has a chance to be a top 15, even maybe top 20 wide receiver. So with Sterling Shepard being a top 20 wide receiver and Amari Cooper being a top 12 this season, maybe a top 7. Let's just say top 7. Jonnu Smith is, it's going to be a top 15 tight end, maybe top 20 tight end, so it really doesn't even matter. Jefferson hasn't been playing well so far. Kittle has mega upside when he gets going, but Kittle has been bad. Kittle has been terrible this season so far. So did you win this trade? I don't know. I like the Shepard and Amari side and Jonnu over Kittle and Jefferson because right now, Jonnu and Kittle are the same. We're talking about right now. Jefferson, I don't know. With KJ Osborne bursting onto the scenes and then Adam Thielen gobbling up all the touchdowns, who knows what Jefferson does this season? Like Jefferson, even though he had, 88 catches last year, Jefferson is not a huge target guy. Thielen gets more targets. Osborne is stealing some targets. So I think you lost the trade, but based off of how your team looks, sometimes you have to lose a trade in order to win your league. So if you lost the trade just to make your team better, then that's all that matters. Maybe you have tons and tons of wide receivers. Maybe, you could afford to, make a trade like this. But I think that you lost the trade, but at the same time, it's not bad. It's not bad at all. So, all right. Let me see. Let me keep going. You have Henry Ruggs. He caught that bomb from Derek Carr. Henry Ruggs is a guy that I don't know. I said he was soft last week, and this week he heard me and he stepped up big time. So Henry Ruggs is available in a lot of leagues out there. So you might want to go ahead and grab a Henry Ruggs. Elijah Moore, he's available. He's more of like a deep dive, maybe dynasty. I don't know what he does with Zach Wilson. All I know is that Zach Wilson is going to be losing a lot of games. So, lots of targets to go around. Like you're throwing to come back. So Elijah Moore could definitely bode well for you. He hasn't really done much this season, but you might want to take a stab at Elijah Moore. We talked about KJ Osborne. He's magnificent. I think this guy has a chance to do some special things this year. He's averaging 17.4 points a game this season. So, I'm loving KJ Moore right now. KJ Osborne. Quintez Cephas, man. I was on this guy last year, and he has some upside. He almost made a crazy Odell Beckham type catch. Yeah, Quintez, he is off the chain. He is off the chain. All right. Let's keep going. Let's talk about tight ends. Tight ends is just tight ends is weird. It's weird. Like, you really don't know who's going to play well. Kittle has been bad. I mean, Jonnu Smith, Hunter Henry, guys that we thought could produce this season as even, a tight end top 12 have not been top 12. It's been random guys. You can stream tight ends. If you don't have any of the top 6 or maybe 7 guys, you can stream this position. Zach Ertz, he's on that COVID list. He's going to be out for a while. He is vaccinated, so we don't know if he'll be back in time for that game Monday night. You have Evan Ingram, that calf injury. He's missed 2 games. We don't know if he's going to miss another game. Anthony Ferguson, knee injury. James O'Shaughnessy, that was a guy that I felt that he was going to have some major upside last week, and he fizzled out. Ankle injury. Robert Tonyan is probably not available, but if he is, you want to go ahead and grab him. Jared Cook, he's a nice receiving tight end. Jonnu Smith, obviously, these are guys that you go ahead and grab. If you're in 10-man leagues, they're probably available. If you're in 12-man leagues, they're probably not available. Give a guy like Mike Gesicki one more chance. Just for the fact that there's no tight ends available. You know what I'm saying? Like, go pick up an Austin Hooper. With the injuries to the wide receivers for the Cleveland Browns, these tight ends for the Cleveland Browns have a chance to do something, both Njoku and Austin Hooper. So you want to go ahead and grab these guys. One of these 2 guys are probably going to do something. Even if Odell Beckham returns, I still think that you're going to see a lot of Austin Hooper playing wide receiver, him and Njoku. They're going to be needed, okay? Evan Ingram, pick him up, stash him. You know what I'm saying? We don't know when he's coming back, but we know that when he's healthy, he's definitely a weapon for these guys. And this could take a hit on Sterling Shepard's target share. So we don't know, man. Sterling Shepard, Kenny Galladay. Daniel Jones has tons and tons of weapons to operate that offense. But like I said, when he's healthy, he's one of the better tight ends in the league. Jack Doyle has bursted onto the scenes. He had a great game Sunday. He had 5 catches for 64 yards. You want to go ahead and grab him and stash him. Like I said, there's not a lot of good tight ends. Pat Freiermuth for the Steelers. He's a rookie from Penn State. I wanted my football team to draft this guy, but we didn't get him. I think he's going to be a stud in this league. Maybe not this year, but if Deontay Johnson happens to be hurt or happens to miss some time, then guess what? Pat Freiermuth can definitely be a guy that's going to be able to command some targets. He's very talented, and I see him as the second best rookie tight end after Kyle Pitts. My guy, Brian Ellis, man, what's good? Appreciate you hopping on the stream, man. Please share the stream out. Please like, please comment, and continue to show love. Appreciate you guys. Dan Arnold, he is available in a lot of leagues. He's in a lot of leagues. You want to go ahead and grab him, give him a trial, see what happens. Max Williams is a guy who came out and played very well. Look, I was not expecting him to do anything. This guy had 7 catches for 94 yards. A lot of people are going to rush and go get a Max Williams and try him out and see, will he produce? You have to remember, one of the catches was a busted play that he was able to catch and, go down and do some things. Dan Arnold was a guy that was on this Cardinals offense last year. So Max Williams is a guy that has stepped up and is literally the starter. He's been in the league 7 years. He hasn't really done much, but guess what? This can be the beginning of something new. You're not expecting him to get 7 targets for 94 yards every single time. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, you want to go ahead and grab him, put him into your lineup, or even have him on your bench and see what happens. I know I'm going to be picking him up in several leagues, especially in my tight end premium leagues. I'm going to give him a shot and see if he can become something. We move on to defenses this week. Somebody was able to ask me, should they start the Panthers defense? Should they start the Ravens? Or I forgot what the last one was, but the Panthers played the Houston Texans this week. The Panthers are hot. They're the only defense that have double-digit points in both weeks. So I think that they're going to get another double-digit point on Thursday night versus Davis Mills and the Houston Texans. That's a matchup that you want to exploit. If you have the Panthers defense, start them. If they're available, go ahead and scoop them. You might not even have to use a waiver wire pick on them. Use your waiver if you're like 7 to 10 or 12. If you're like on the bottom, if you're 7 and below, use your waiver wire claim on the Panthers. If not, do not use that waiver wire claim. The Raiders are playing Miami. We know that Tua's hurt. Brissette didn't look so well last week. They do get back Will Fuller, but you might want to take a chance on the Raiders. I know I am. Whether Tua plays or not, I think the Raiders are a very good defense this year, and they're a great play this year. So the Chicago Bears are playing the Cleveland Browns. The Bears have had surprisingly a decent pass rush and defense. So you might want to take a stab at them. And then the Titans defense has plenty upside. I know the Titans have been terrible this week, but if Carson Wentz does not play and they're playing Jacob Eason or, who's this other guy? Huntley from the practice squad. I mean, it just bodes well for the Titans. So maybe the Titans get their mojo back. Brian Ellis is asking, is the Chicago DST legit? They look good. They look good. They got playmakers all over the field. Versus the Browns, with all the injuries the Browns have in the receiving game, I think the Bears can possibly do something. They can do something nice. Of course, it's not the best matchup because obviously you still have Nick Chubb. But let's say the Bears make this thing a game with Justin Fields, right? That means now the Cleveland Browns just cannot only just run the ball. So let's just see what happens. Like, I think the Bears are an option if, let's say, for example, there's no defenses out there. Let's say you're looking around, to find a defense. I like the Bears defense. I think that they have potential to do something this week, even though they're going to Cleveland. Like I said, the Titans defense is also another option that you want to go ahead and try, because there are some teams that have 2 or 3 defenses on their team. So defenses are not – it's just kind of hard to guess them sometimes. As far as kickers go, Nick Folk, you want to roster him. Mac Jones cannot score a touchdown, so the New England Patriots are going to kick a lot of field goals, and that's where a Matt Folk or Nick Folk comes into play. Daniel Carlson. Look, Vegas is hot right now. Derek Carr is tearing it up. I think it's going to give opportunities to Daniel Carlson to go ahead and kick a lot of field goals. Matt Gay from the Rams, that offense is just buzzing right now. So, when you have a pretty good offense, like remember when Greg the Leg was on that team, Greg Zuerlein, he was able to get all those 50-yard field goals and just scoring opportunities because the Rams have a prolific offense. And then last but not least, Graham Gano, the guy that kicked so many 50-yard field goals versus the football team. He's a great play. They play the lowly ATL Hawks. So, guys, man, I'm going to answer one more question, and then I'm going to get off here. Me says, I sent it to you on Twitter. I had it 2 videos, so they might overlap on the final drive. Appreciate you, man. I'm definitely going to check that video out, and I'm probably going to play that video on the next Washington football stream or episode that I do. So, guys, man, this is the Waiver Wire Show. I hope I was able to help you guys and give you guys some gems that can help you guys win your league. Also, there's 2 more guys that I didn't mention. The first guy, I got to go into my phone and pull up this name. It's a running back that plays for the Chicago Bears. He has a shot to do some great things this week. His name is Demetric Felton. He was able to play some slot wide receiver for the Browns this week, and with the Browns, having all these injuries at wide receiver, he can be a guy that plays some slot this week. But he's a guy that I will play in a deeper league. I'm not going to play him in any regular leagues. But if I need a running back, I'm definitely going to take a shot on this guy, because guess what? Even though they have a Kareem Hunt, and Kareem Hunt does a lot of the receiving work, keep an eye out on Demetric Felton, especially if he's lining up as a slot wide receiver come Sunday. And then the last guy that I want to highlight is a running back. Can't think of his first name, but his last name is Patrick. Jaquez Patrick. He's a guy that you want to go ahead and target, because we don't know who's healthy for the 49ers this week. So Jaquez Patrick is going to be a pretty decent pickup. pick him up, stash him, kind of see what's going on, kind of see who's available, because right now he could possibly end up as the number one running back for the 49ers. Everybody's hurt. So just keep an eye out on Jacques Patrick. He might bode well for you. So, guys, once again, this is your guy, Manny. This is the Talking Sports with Manny YouTube channel. Please like, please share, please subscribe, and I'll be doing this weekly. So I enjoyed my time on this Waiver Wire show. Every Tuesday around this time, we will talk about Waiver Wire pickups and gems that will help you win your league, and not just the week, but your league as well. Because sometimes you find these guys that go on to be studs the rest of the season. All right, y'all. I'll catch you guys on the next episode. I'm out.